What if I told you the Eagles, already one of the scariest teams in football, are about to get even better? Because something is brewing in Phillies, and it's not just rumors. Key players and coaches just spoke publicly for the first time this offseason. And what they said, it's chilling. The Birds aren't sitting back after a Super Bowl run. They're planning changes, real changes, strategic ones, and the message is loud and clear. They're not defending the crown. They're coming for it again. The Eagles could have spent this offseason celebrating, relaxing, and enjoying the spotlight as reigning NFC champs. But that's not who they are. Instead, they're focused, sharp, and already working on the next chapter. Yesterday at the NovaCare Complex, we finally heard from head coach Nick Sirianni and a few of the team's leaders. It was their first press conference of the offseason, and they didn't waste time. They dropped some serious hints about changes on offense. All of it ties back to one key move. Kevin Patullo is now running the show. When offensive coordinator Kellen Moore left, many fans thought the offense might take a step back. But inside the locker room, that's not the feeling at all. In fact, players are excited. Patullo, who was the passing game coordinator, has been promoted to offensive coordinator, and the players already love what they're seeing. He's not flashy. He doesn't talk big in the media, but behind the scenes, he's grinding, working on every detail and building strong relationships with the guys who matter most, the players. One veteran described him perfectly. He's a great communicator, very open, very detailed, easy to talk to. We've always had a strong relationship, and he's stepping into this new role really well. That's big. In today's NFL, talent matters, but so does chemistry. And right now, it sounds like Patullo is blending that perfectly, bringing new ideas and earning the trust of the locker room. He's been part of this journey for a long time, always behind the scenes, always involved in big moments, and now he's taking the wheel. He knows the system, he knows the players, and most importantly, he knows what this team is capable of. This isn't just about adding plays or changing schemes. It's about sharpening the sword, evolving, staying ahead. Because the truth is, every team on the Eagles' schedule in 2025 will come in with one goal: to knock them off the mountain. Philly knows it, and they're already getting ready. Do you believe Kevin Patullo is the right man to lead this offense? Is this the spark that takes the Eagles to the next level, or will they miss Kellen Moore's touch? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Rate your confidence in Patullo on a scale from 1 to 10, and let's see how Eagles Nation really feels. Eagle down. Being a new offensive coordinator in the NFL is tough. But doing it in Philadelphia, where fans expect championships, and doing it right after the team just won one, that's brutal. Kevin Patullo isn't just stepping into a new job. He's stepping into a storm of expectations. The Eagles' offense was elite last year. They dominated. They delivered. Now Patullo has the same group of weapons, and the bar couldn't be higher. If he doesn't match that level, or worse, if the offense slips even a little, the critics will be loud and fast. The past says be careful. Rookie OCs rarely dominate. Let's be honest, Eagles fans have seen this movie before, and it doesn't always end well. Think back just a couple of years. The team handed the keys to Brian Johnson, and it fell apart. The offense sputtered. Jalen Hurts didn't look like himself, and the entire fan base was left wondering what went wrong. But even before that, it's a pattern. Shane Steichen, who eventually became one of the best offensive minds in the league, still had a rough start in 2021. The offense finished middle of the pack. The passing game, dead last. Mike Groh in 2018, another forgettable debut. Frank Reich, even though he helped win a Super Bowl later, started his Eagles journey in 2016 with only 7 wins and a rookie QB still figuring it out. Sure, each of those guys had challenges. Rookie quarterbacks, injuries, new systems. But here's the point. Instant success for new OCs is rare. That makes what Kevin Patullo is trying to do even more impressive and even more risky. The scary part? Patullo doesn't have time to figure it out slowly. He's not building something from scratch. He's stepping into a machine that already works. This offense, with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and a powerful O-line, just won a Super Bowl. So here's the harsh truth. Anything less than elite will feel like failure. Even if the offense plays just as good as last year, fans might still say, why didn't they improve? Patullo's job isn't just to maintain, it's to evolve, to add new wrinkles, to keep the playbook fresh so defenses don't catch up. And according to players, that's exactly what he's trying to do. The game plan, building off strength, adding something new. When the Eagles players met with the media, they gave us a glimpse behind the curtain. And what they said. It shows Patullo isn't just copying what worked, he's building something of his own. He has a very good feel of what we do well. One coach said, "We want to keep what worked, but also add new wrinkles, little things that fit into the big picture." It's not about flipping the whole offense. It's about staying one step ahead, keeping the identity strong, while giving defenses just enough to worry about. Patullo is being praised for his calm, focused leadership. He's listening to the players, he's encouraging collaboration, and most of all, he understands the pressure. He knows this is his moment, and he's not running from it. Let's hear it from you. Do you believe Patullo will succeed where so many others have struggled? Is he ready for the pressure of running a championship offense? Or is history going to repeat itself? Drop a comment below with your prediction for the Eagles offense in 2025. More dangerous, about the same, or a step backward? Picture this. Eagles fans, what if the NFL's #1 rushing offense suddenly turned into a dual threat that could also torch defenses through the air? We're not talking about slight improvements. We're talking about a dangerous, fully loaded, unpredictable offense that no team would ever want to face. And it could happen in 2025. As an offense, that's it. That's the mission. It's not about staying the same, not about protecting what worked. The NFL moves fast, and if you're not getting better, you're getting beat. Kevin Patullo knows this, and the players already confirmed. He's adding his own twist to what this offense will look like. So what's going to change the most? It's the passing game, and it's long overdue. Philly's secret weakness last year, throwing the ball. We don't like to talk about it, but deep down, we all saw it. Yes, the Eagles had the most dominant rushing attack in the NFL. But at times, the passing game looked shaky, inconsistent, frustrating. We remember the deep shots to A.J. Brown. We remember the clutch throws from Hurts. But we also remember stalled drives, mistimed throws, and missed opportunities that could have cost games. Statistically, it was rough. The Eagles ranked 30th in passing yards in the entire league last year. Only 2 teams were worse, and that's with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and a strong offensive line. Now imagine this. What if that same rushing offense stays elite, but the passing game climbs just a little? Top 15th, top 13th, maybe even top 10th. You wouldn't just have a good offense, you'd have an offense no team on earth could stop. This is personal for Patullo. It's what he's best at. Here's the exciting part. Kevin Patullo isn't guessing. He's not some outsider with no clue how this team works. He's been the Eagles' passing game coordinator for the past few seasons. He knows Hurts, he knows Brown, he knows what works and what doesn't. And now he's in control. This is his chance to fix the one area that held the Eagles back last season, to take what he's already helped build and level it up. Fans should be fired up, because even a 10% improvement through the air could make this team downright terrifying. Watch for early clues at OTAs. We might not have to wait long to see the changes. Next week, the Eagles take the field again for the first round of OTAs at the NovaCare Complex. That's when reporters, fans, and insiders will start seeing how different this offense looks. Are the routes sharper? Is Hurts throwing deeper? Are the tempo and formations changing? Something big is brewing in Philly, and the countdown is on. The NFL tried to kill the tush push, but failed miserably. Now let's talk about the absolute shocker of the week. The NFL actually tried to kill the Eagles' most unstoppable weapon, the tush push, or as we call it proudly, the brotherly shove. Media outlets swore it was finished. Roger Goodell hated it. Coaches called it unfair. The vote to ban it seemed inevitable. But guess what? It failed. 10 teams stood up and said no. And just like that, the most controversial and unstoppable short yardage play in football is here to stay. Jason Kelce and Jeffrey Lurie saved it. Want to know who fought for it? Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie spoke for over 30 minutes at the owners' meeting. defending the tush push. He brought statistics, he brought logic, he even showed the NFL's own data. 0 injuries in 2024. And beside him, a Philly legend. Jason Kelce, who many thought retired because of the tush push, flew to Minneapolis himself. He stood in front of NFL decision makers and set the record straight. I didn't quit because of this play, and I didn't get hurt doing it either. That passion, that truth, it helped swing the vote. Let's go, Eagles fans. What do you think will be the biggest change we see in the offense this year? Will it be the passing game, the play calling, a whole new level for Jalen Hurts? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, rate your excitement for this offense on a scale of 1 to 10. This team is cooking up something special, and it's only just beginning. Let's clear the air. Jason Kelce is done with the nonsense about why he retired and how the brotherly shove played a part. In his own words, if all I had to do was run 80 tush pushes to stay in the NFL, I'd come out of retirement today. Let that sink in. This man would throw the pads back on right now if all he had to do was help the Eagles line up and smash the ball forward in short yardage plays. That's how easy and effective it is. The NFL's bitter because they can't stop it. Kelce didn't hold back. He straight up said what Eagles fans have been yelling for months. The league is just bitter because the Eagles are better. Other teams can run the tush push, but they don't have Philly's power, Philly's timing, Philly's execution, and that's not unfair. That's just facts. Even if the league had banned the push from behind, Philly could have still run a standard QB sneak, and guess what? They already did that. With the same success rate, this team doesn't just win because of one play. They win because they're smarter and tougher than the guys across from them. If Stafford scored, would this even be a vote? Kelce asked a great question, and it stings with truth. If Matthew Stafford had scored on that final drive in the snow, if the Eagles had lost that playoff game, would this vote even be happening? Probably not, but Stafford didn't score. The Eagles stuffed the Rams, won the game, and kept rolling all the way to a Super Bowl. And now, after getting run over, the Packers are trying to change the rules? Get real. Honestly, I say the Eagles should run the tush push 50 times when they visit Green Bay this year, just to rub it in their face. Let the fans in Wisconsin feel every inch we gain. Over and over and over again. Playoff seating change. Denied. Now let's shift to the other major vote the NFL was set to hold this week. A playoff rule change proposed by the Detroit Lions. Their idea? Winning a division shouldn't matter as much. Instead, just count total wins, regardless of who you beat. In short, it's okay if you don't win your division, as long as your record is pretty. Excuse me? If you beat the Cowboys twice, that better mean something. If you run your division, you earned your spot. Thankfully, the rest of the league agreed. The Lions realized they didn't have the votes and pulled the proposal at the last minute, which means trophy divisions still matter, rivalries still matter, and beating the Cowboys still counts for something big. That's the way it should be. Sirianni gets paid, but how much? Let's end with the man in charge, Nick Sirianni. Fresh off a Super Bowl title, Philly's head coach officially signed a contract extension this week. But the details are still locked up. No dollar amount, no official length. Just that it's multi-year and multi-million, which, let's be honest, he's more than earned. But what really stood out wasn't the money. It was how his players reacted. The locker room loves this man. Jalen Hurts was one of the first to speak out, and his words were powerful. He's earned it. Watching his growth as a coach while I've grown as a quarterback, it's been a great ride. That's real respect. That's real leadership. You don't get that unless you build something strong together. And then came this from Jordan Mailata. I just want to give him his flowers. He's done a phenomenal job building this locker room's culture. Culture isn't just a buzzword. It's what separates good teams from championship teams. And Sirianni's fingerprints are all over it. Call to action. Eagles fans, what do you think of Jason Kelce's comments? Do you love that the tush push survived? Should Philly unleash it 20 times against the Packers this year just for fun? One of the most underrated parts of a championship team, trust. And that's exactly what head coach Nick Sirianni has built inside the Eagles locker room. Jordan Mailata said it perfectly. He's always, me first, then you. He takes accountability, he corrects his mistakes, and he gives us space to create the culture too. That's rare in the NFL. Most coaches control everything, every word, every rep. But Sirianni, he empowers his players. He leads with them, not just above them. That's why they buy in. That's why they fight for him. Remember when people said Hurts hated Sirianni? It wasn't that long ago. After the Eagles lost to the Bucs last season, media outlets were whispering that Jalen Hurts didn't trust Sirianni anymore, that the head coach had lost the locker room. And now, we're sitting here talking about a Super Bowl, a contract extension, and star players gushing about their coach every time a mic is in front of them. That's what winning culture looks like. That's what growth looks like. Philly doesn't panic, Philly gets better. Now it's Howie's turn. Extend the GM. Let's talk about the next contract that needs to get done. Howie Roseman, the man behind this entire Eagles roster, the trades, the picks, the draft moves, the cap wizardry, is somehow entering the final year of his deal in 2025. How is that even possible? He signed a 3-year extension back in 2022, and yet we didn't hear a word about him when Sirianni's deal was announced. If you're Jeffrey Lurie, you don't even let Howie get close to the open market. Lock him up, period. Who's next on the field? Look at Reed Blankenship. While the front office moves are key, there's one player on the field who absolutely deserves a raise. Reed Blankenship, Philly's hard-hitting, under-the-radar safety. He played the entire 2024 season, making around $3.5 million. And in 2025, he's barely making more than that. That's a bargain. And while he might not be the best safety in the NFL by name alone, he's easily one of the most reliable, and his teammates love him. Think about it. If the top safeties are making $18 to $20 million a year, Reed deserves at least half that. He's not just a body on the field. He's part of the Eagles' identity on defense. I'd be shocked if he finishes 2025 on his current deal. The guy's overdue. What a week for the Eagles. Let's take a step back. Look at what just happened. The brotherly shove survives. No playoff seeding disaster rule. Sirianni gets his deal. Howie and Reed are likely next, and the offense is about to evolve into something dangerous. It's been a roller coaster, but one that ends with Philly flying higher than ever. All right, Eagles fans, time to sound off. Should Howie Roseman be extended immediately? Does Reed Blankenship deserve a new deal before the season? What does it say about this team that Sirianni's players are this vocal in supporting him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's hit 3,000 likes to celebrate the brotherly shove, the brotherhood in the locker room, and the absolute fire this team is bringing into 2025.